Hello YouTube, this is Karacakes bringing you another PGA Tour 2K23 video. This is this week's TGCTours Challenge Circuit Guide. We're in week 3, the Chubbs Peterson Memorial at Pacifica Golf Club. RIP Chubbs. It's an official 2K course made by one of the designers that makes courses you see on TGCTours. I'm not sure which one, but all of them were contacted by 2K to make courses for this specific game. So I know these are really high quality. So I'm excited to get to see it too. Let's see how it plays. We're going to start by looking at the conditions. Do note that because it is week 3 and Doyley has made his announcement, we are going to start using the default ball on TGC Tour rounds. So as you can see, we'll go into our locker. We have the default ball equipped. So we're hoping that the conditions are going to play nicely with the default ball. We trust the schedulers. They usually make good conditions based on what tour you're on and the course. So I have no doubt we're going to have an enjoyable season even with the default ball, even if the default ball doesn't play as nicely as the consumable balls, because I feel like this game was definitely designed for the consumable balls and to always be using them. But we live in a world where we're going to have them disabled on a lot of societies, so let's get to it. Settings. We're starting on the white tees. It is white tees round 1. Round 2, 3, and 4 are on the black tees. So we start off a little easier, a little shorter of a course. Pin 1, obviously. Wind speed, medium winds from the north. Firm fairways, soft greens though, and moderate green speed means these balls will check up even with the default ball. If you care about the lighting and everything, it is also scheduled to be noon with light cloud weather. With that in mind, let's get into it. We're going to start by loading in. All right. This is on the white tees, a 7,100 yard course. So it's going to be a little longer than maybe CC players are used to. We start off fairway. The green is elevated. The fairway is slightly elevated. As you can see, I have my marker on. So whenever you're practicing, it's good to turn on the aim marker so you can tell where the elevation is on a lot of these courses. So it won't be that uphill once we get into the fairway, but it is uphill, adding distance and into the wind. Remember, wind is not exact. It's a north wind. It could be anywhere from northeast, north, or northwest. So keep that in mind when you're practicing. Different times of the day in which you go into the local match will dictate which direction the wind is coming from. It seems to be about every hour or two it changes. So if you want to practice the exact conditions, you're going to need to keep testing and seeing. So 9 miles per hour. Let's see. Fairway, it's meant to hold you into the fairway. If you're too far left, it might stay in the rough. If you slow it, you're definitely going to be in the rough and potentially in a really bad spot. So do your best. Make sure you're in the fairway. Well, let's get it. I'm not going to practice swing. We're just going to see what kind of shots we hit and hope we hit good shots. A little too much of a fast than I like, but we're in the fairway. On a driver, you can afford to be that fast. All right. We got a nice flat part of the fairway with a little bit of uphill, so maybe it plays a yard or two. .112. We're going uphill, slightly into the wind. Lob wedge plays a little less in the wind than a lot of your other clubs. So I'm looking at 107, maybe like 108 if you count the line. Wind should bring it down. So I'm going to, we know we have soft greens, moderate green speeds. So we can attack the pin pretty aggressively. I'm going to put some forward spin on it. Maybe a touch of D-loft just to make sure it doesn't come down too much. A little fast. Wind is taking it. And we're nice and safe here. I would suggest not being short. Too short. But anywhere within 15 feet is going to be a pretty flat, straight putt anywhere you go. Obviously, if you're on the side, if you're pin high, there's going to be more break. But above and below the hole are pretty flat, as you can see. Maybe a little below the hole is a little dangerous, but as long as you're relatively close, you're in good shape. Slope is like very slightly going to the left. Let's just hit it and see what happens. We just sneak in there. I hit that a little too light. Normally I play that a little more aggressively, but I want to show you how the regular player would work. All right. Hole 2. Fairway narrows as you go down, but you have plenty of landing room. So with the wind at our back, and no matter what, it's going to be at our back, we're going to get some distance out of this. We have firm fairways, so this is going to travel a bit. So let's hit it. Ooh, too slow. Let's see if we're in the rough for the first time today. We are, but it's light rough. And luckily on this course, there's a lot of light rough areas. All right. So we have wind at our back, out of the light rough, so it's going to generate less spin. And we're going to have a lower lie percentage. So I change my camera angle with my left stick. I think it'll be right stick if you swing with your left stick. I could tell that we're on a slightly downhill. So with the wind at our back and slightly downhill, it's always good to know, like, okay, if we get, I don't know, 92%, how much is that? Well, I take my calculator, 0.92 times 139, 127, 128-ish. So we're looking at going 128. Slightly downhill, so like you're adding maybe a yard at most. But wind at our back is going to take it kind of far. Anywhere from like 136, maybe 137, 138, 139. So we need to either loft it, partial it, or do something. As long as you don't hit this front of the part of the green, or are way too long back here, you should be fine. And even if you're long, it might come down because these are yellow slopes, even red slopes up here. It'll be off in this direction, but you'll have a putt at it. So don't be too short. Being too short means you're going to be off to the left. But be brave. So I could either loft this or I could play this instead and de-loft it. I'm going to loft this. I have true shot on. Let's turn that off. I like to have it so I can learn my clubs. So if you're doing a practice round, I do suggest you turn on this Pro Vision True Shot and the aim marker on so that you can see the distance, what happens when you're shaping. That's how I learned how to manipulate all my clubs. But we're going to turn that off so that I give you a true experience. I also know my clubs pretty well. So we're going to play this about 130, 129-ish. Knowing that the wind is going to play a little bit of yardage. Let's see where we end up. A little slow. But looking very nice. Rolls out because we were downhill, downwind, down loft, and that front of the green is shaped downwards on the right side. And we'll bounce forward. And you just learned to putt. My putting's been off and on today. But luckily we get one more. Hole 3. Ooh, a drivable. These are tricky. We have soft greens, but the wind is at our back, and wind on a driver plays a lot. We're looking at somewhere between like 16, 18 extra yards we're going to gain here from this high of wind going downhill and potentially hitting a 101 or 102. So now you need to make the decision. There's a couple of ways to approach a shot like this. You can de-loft it to take off yardage. Driver, if you de-loft, will always take off yardage. You'll have to learn that with true shot. You could fade it. Play it out here. Fade it into this slope. Learn the distances that will get you. Or you could partial it. Play it back, let's say here or so. We need to get it over this slope though, so I'm thinking I might shape it. Gonna play it way out to here because I tend to shank it, and if you shape it this much, it's going to go to the right more. We slowed it, but we should be good. Looks like I aimed too far to the left. But even I make misreads. We're bailed out by the slow, and we get an eagle. Learning your shot shaping really helps. I wanted to fade it so that if I could go around that slope on the right. If I drew it, it would be a pain in the butt. And if I de-lofted it or partial it, it was likely I was going to hit that slope. You could always aim left, but I chose to shape it. All right, par 4. Not too far away. Wind in our face, though, means it's going to play a little longer. So I'm just going to see if we can well, I'm just going to hit a 101. I'm not going to move the marker. So I'm going to hit a 102 likely, and I do. And get into the fairway. This fairway is wide open. Pick and choose. Just aim for the middle. Or if you shank it, you know, push it out a little bit to the left or right. But aim for the middle. I got a kind of a bad lie, 97 to 98%, so it might take off another yard or two. But we're uphill, a little uphill lie going left to right. Wind going left to right a little bit too, so we need to aim way out here. We don't want to be down off to the right, or else we have to chip up. So if you're confident with your chips, like, that's fine. But I'm gonna try to see if we can get it close to the pin. You have plenty of slope to play with. It likes to funnel to the right if you get it far enough. It likes to funnel to the left if you're too short. So pick your poison. Do you want to be potentially a little too long? I'm gonna go for a little bit of a long play, because there's a red slope at the back of this hole. So we're looking at 7 miles per hour in our face. Probably losing like 9 yards from the wind, 5 yards from the elevation, another yard from this, and maybe another 2 yards from the lie. So we're looking at like 15, 16, 17 yards off. 205 plus 17 is 222. I'm gonna loft it pretty substantially. If I'm a little long, I don't mind, because I know full loft on this club is 222, but the wind will play a little bit more, so I'm gonna play for like 224-ish. And if we're a little long, we have a slope at the back to play for. I pushed it a little too far than I wanted to, but we're a little longer than we expected, and I don't mind that. We're on the green. We have a chance at another eagle. So, since this is substantially downhill, and you can like start to see like how far downhill it is with the aim marker on and learn in practice rounds, I'm going to take a lot of power off of this and play for a lot more break because I'm taking so much power off of it, and see if we can get this close. Maybe we get lucky. These putts are about giving yourself a chance and hoping it goes in. Look at that. Perfect weight. Almost went in. If I hit that a little harder, it might go in. So we played it a little long, and that's fine. Downhill, downwind, long or to the left is probably off the green. It wants to funnel to the left, so we need to play this to the right. Problem being, this bunker is really deep. So pick your poison. Do you want to risk being in this bunker for your splash shots? Or do you play more for the middle of the green, knowing I want to play safe? I don't want to splash. We're in a new era where you have to splash. You cannot chip out of the bunker. You can do a partial flop, but if, let's say, you land right here, you're going to have like a 14-yard flop. You could press circle, opens up the course book, and look. See how far away it would be. 13 yards? That's dangerous, right? If you're back here, 14 yards. If you're down here, 21 yards. Are you comfortable with your partial splashing? I'm confident with my tempo, so I feel confident I'll get close here. 187, downhill, 184, 183-ish, I don't know, 184. Wind at our back, you know. I'm looking at like 176-ish. Now I have to make a decision. Do I full off this? I think that's going to be my play. I'm going to full off this. Play this a little safety. I could aim a little bit more to the right, but I'm gonna try aiming here and see where we end up. Take one practice swing. See where we end up. We're on soft greens, moderate green speeds, so it dies. Especially when you have full loft on a club. It's gonna want to die a lot more. Oh, a little ghosty break. That happens. Hole 6. Big fairway again. Just make sure you're in the fairway. You don't want to be in this heavy rough or in these bunkers. Light rough is fine. A little bit longer, but it's downwind and downhill, so we're not worried too much. It'll naturally be a little shorter than that because of that. And the firm fairways bounce. Pretty well protected pin right here. A lot of break. If you're on the right, you're gonna have like a weird uphill putt with a lot of break. I'm gonna de-loft here to add distance on my sandwich. I know de-lofting will give me more distance. Let's see how close we can get. Hit the perfect. It's a little bit to the left, but I didn't really want to be on that right side. It looked dangerous. As you can see, there's a ton of break past it over there, and it could go anywhere. It could funnel over here and be a tricky putt. At least here I have more of a chance to make this putt. Take a little power off. Not too much. We're on 134 greens. And play it roughly, I don't know, here-ish. Little guessing. Yes. Good read. Almost underread it, but get another hole. 7th. Par 5. Shorter par 5, but well protected par 5. So, you have to make a decision. You can overpower this so that you have like a 9 or an 8 iron in. Maybe even pitching wedge if you manage to get like a 106, 107 with a lot of loft. Maybe spin. That'll add distance to a driver. But I'm just gonna hit it straight up. I don't take unnecessary risks as much. I was punished in rounds 1 and 2 for taking too many overpowered risks. Instead, I'm happy just to be in the fairway and give myself a chance. And as you can see, I have a 7 iron in hand still. Soft greens, remember? So it's downhill, so if you're too short, it's going to bounce and roll out even with the soft greens. It's definitely at least going to roll out. So now you need to make a decision. Do you go for a close shot at the pin? Or do you play a little safer? Do you play more right here? Do you aim right here? I'm always going to aim more on this side. I'm going to push it a little bit, knowing my general tempo and swing plane. So I feel pretty confident aiming about here with the lie at my feet and the wind. If I slow it, it's not going to be a pretty shot, but let's see. Let's just be confident. I'm going to loft it a little bit. Want to be a little short, not too short. Got the perfect. I thought it was going to be slow. As you can see, it gently releases. It's all downhill, so it was tough to manage the distance, but we got a good place for it. You could also potentially fade that into the wind and make it stop a little easier. That's more of an advanced shot, though. Ah, overread it. It didn't start breaking until that second bead, so... In this game, if it starts breaking really quickly, then it's going to stay breaking really quickly. If it takes a little bit for it to get to the break, it's not going to start breaking for a little while. Get this into the fairway. We have an uphill shot. Pretty tough pin again, but it's not going to be terribly long. Let's just see if we can get this into the fairway. It's a bowl, so you have plenty of space to aim. You can play more on the right side. It should kick to the left. You could play more on the left side. It'll be fine. Uphill significantly. On a wedge, the uphill plays a little bit less. So I'm going to say this might play like 8 or 9 yards. Wind in our face might take off another 1 or 2 yards. So we're looking at, let's say 131, 133. Wind's turning a little bit in our face, so maybe like 134. All right. I feel pretty good. We're going to loft it a bit to around 134 and aim for pin high. A little slow, might kill the distance a little bit, and it does. Slow into the wind is tough. We're in the fairway though. And that uphill and wind played a little bit more than I expected. We chip it in. Shorter chips. Even if you shank it, it's not going to shank too badly. But I played a good one. Fairway. Green is tough. Fairway is tough too. If you're too high up here, it might kick to the left. So you can put a little shape into this to make it die into this slope. Or you can more aim over here and hope it doesn't kick too far to the right. If you put shape into it, it should kill it a little bit too. Fairways are really important in this game, especially with default ball. You don't have a lot of spin on the ball with the default ball, so it's really important that you get good at learning to hit the fairways and hit the greens. 165, 169-ish with the elevation. A slight lie at our feet. We're not going to play too much into that. 7 mile per hour wind. Probably playing like 6, 7 yards. So we're looking at 169, 175. We're going to loft this. See if we can get it. And aim a little bit more just because the wind is that direction. And I don't want to be too far on the right. As you can see, it falls off the green. So I'm going to definitely aim more on the left to play safe here. We hit the fast, so we're on the left side of the pin, but it's a pretty good spot on the green. Again, soft green, so I was willing to play for a pin high shot. And there we go. You can play that a little shorter and it'll release, but hold it a little too hard. Downhill putts are my nemesis. I'm really bad at medium range downhill putts. As you can see, even a plat player struggles on downhill putts. Alright. Wind should do most of the work for us here. Again, too far left, it falls off. So you might want to be safe and aim for the right side of this hole. Ooh, that sounded weird. I think my sound is a little desynced. Again, downhill. Just trying to control the pace on this ball. We hit the power and we got a good swing plane. There we go. Bang, baby. Let's go. And another putt to drop. Another drivable. I love a drivable par 4. There's always risk reward elements in a lot of these on well-designed golf courses. So let's analyze the risks and rewards. Risk. You can easily be too long and in that bunker. And that's a disgusting little circle deep bunker that's going to have downhill slope if you're too far forward. Good luck getting that to stop coming down this hill. What else could happen on this par 4? Well, you could land here and then have one hell of a chip to get up there. As you can see, it's pretty well protected of a pin. You can even be out here and have a no spin and going downhill onto the green again. So there's a lot of danger in here. So if you want to play safe, you could play like a hybrid or an iron and play out here and then pitch it back up. But I think most people are going to take a driver and do something with it. Partial it, shape it. It wouldn't be a bad idea to aim for the right, shape it, see if it lands here and gets up here, or at worst, you're gonna have a chip. I'm gonna try that. Let's test this. I might be too short here, but I'm gonna try it. I know I tend to push it to the right, so I'm gonna adjust for that. My sound is really desynced right now. Sorry if the sound quality is really bad. I need to reset my system. As you can see, because we hit the fairway, that thing does not want to get there. It's just gonna bounce off the fairway firm, so maybe instead playing here-ish would have been better. Shape it to the from left to right and get it to come off of that slope. You make the decision. But from here, you're not going to have a fun time. Downhill slope out of the light rough means less spin generation. Downhill means the lie is going to play a lot. So we need to play some spin, play loft. I think I need to restart my computer. Take our birdie. Sorry if you had some FPS drops earlier in the stream or in the recording. I noticed I was having some technical issues, so hopefully I iron those out before next week, but we're back recording this shortly before CC opens up, so I'm trying to get this done. Longer par, not really that long. We're gonna have like 150 in or something or less with the wind at our back. Just gonna be uphill pretty dramatically. Too fast. We're gonna have some danger here in that light rough. Light rough, super uphill, and into an uphill. Can we get there with this club? I'm losing like 2, 3, maybe even 4 yards with this uphill lie. Let's assume 3, and let's assume the uphill is going to play around 7 to 8. 10 yards, that's 139 right off the bat. 134 maybe with the wind. And then we gotta assume we're gonna get a 93% lie. This might just barely make it. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna de-loft it. See if it gets there. Get the perfect. With the de-loft, we are just gonna make it there. Because we have less spin out of the light rough with the light rough and the wind at our back, we get some rollout even on a gap wedge pitch. So there we go. Another hole successfully navigated. This is a shorter par 4 because we're downhill and the wind isn't really in our face. Slopes left to right. If you get it far enough, it looks like it slopes back right to left as well on the right side, so pretty safe. Let's not hit it that fast as we did on the last hole. Okay, but don't hit it that slow. Don't hit it that slow. We're still in the fairway. We're okay. 7-mile-per-hour wind. Not too much interface, but enough. Lie, pretty significant yellow lie. You can just tell by the shape of the slope and everything. Pretty simple pin position. If you're anywhere within... If you're pin high, it's going to be a trickier putt. Just because of the downhill, uphill nature of this. But if you're short, you're going to have a pretty straightforward putt. Short or long. So let's look. 140. 48, 147, 48. We're going to loft it. Play it a little more. Hit it just slow. Hit it pin high in a pretty good spot. A little bit of break because we're not exactly in front or behind the hole, but let's get it in there. Par 5. Again, not that long and in a pretty friendly position for us. Let's get into the fairway. Finally, we hit a perfect on a drive. Been a little bit. Alright, sloping right to left a little bit at our feet. Uphill. Neutral lie uphill. 184, 185. We're looking around 189 or so. So I'm going to loft it a little, land it a little short. See if we can get a good shot here. Looking dialed in. Soft greens. Releases a little. Let's capitalize on an eagle opportunity. Another one. Probably the hardest hole on the course right now. You have a slope at the back that you can use, so you can go long. Just don't be up here. If you're going to be long, make sure you land around the pin. You get it up to here, you roll it up, it comes back down. That's probably the easiest play because everything else is like, as you can see, downhill, sloping to the left. Downhill, sloping to the right. So it's very difficult to go at this attacking it right at the pin. 231. Maybe like 217, 216 or so. So this should be a pretty good club for this. Get another perfect. We're on a perfect streak right now. And come back down a little bit. So if I hit that a little further, it'll come back a little bit more. So as you can see, if you don't get high enough, you're in a little bit of danger. Just gonna hit it and hope. Just barely. Shorter par 4 again, with the wind at our back and downhill elevation. Not too hard to navigate this one. Also looks like it slopes to the friendly into the fairway on like no matter where you hit it, unless you hit it too far. All right. Uphill, 110, 111-ish. Wind at her back's going to play a little bit on this club. 108, 107 maybe. Maybe 106. 107 I would say. So we have a 101 club in hand. We're a little short. Just a touch of D-loft. Quite fast. Didn't want to be that fast, but we're going to get the distance because of the fast. And we're there. And we're just going to pray we can hit this in the hole. Obviously, you might need to play this a little carefully. Oh, unlucky. I even knew that was a potential of happening, and I didn't aim for it. Short par 4. I like my full clubs. This is about the right distance, 128-ish, 127 to 128. Wind at our back, it's going to play like 2-3 yards. This is like 125 right on the dot. So I'm going to put a little loft, a little spin. See if we can't get this close. Hitting perfects like crazy. Where was this earlier? Twitch.tv/karacakes if you want to see what I'm talking about. I played some society rounds today on the stream in the afternoon. So come on by. We have a really fun time over there. If you want to ask me questions in live view, that's where you can do it. We also are going to be playing tomorrow afternoon. I don't know exact time, but tomorrow afternoon Eastern time, we're going to be playing our TGCTours Platinum rounds 1 and 2. Wide open fairway into a par 5. You have a slope back here. It's not going to be the easiest to use. If you're all the way on the right, you can use the slope because it'll come down to here. Short and to the right is danger. So the safe play is to be on the fairway anywhere here. Or on the green, anywhere here, right? You have quite a bit on this right side. If you land it here, it's going to kick to the left, and you'll have like a, 15-footer up the hill. Not with a decent amount of break, but at least it's a chance. So pick your poison. I think I'm going to play this club. Straight up. Play it on this left side, even with the lie at my feet. I'm worried about that right side. I don't want to be off to the right. So if I slow it, that would be bad, and I would definitely be on the right. So I'm going to play it out here. Get another absolute dart perfect. Hit the pin. First albatross. Oh my god, I've lipped out 3 albatrosses today. It's coming. It's coming. And these are my worst putts. I always struggle with these putts. See if we can land one, though. Nope. I hit it too late. But I'll take another birdie. For a -17. So there you have it, folks. That's your round 1 walkthrough of Challenge Circuit for TGCTours Week 3. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you would graciously do that for me, I would be much appreciated. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great week in Challenge Circuit. Good luck out there. Believe in you. First week with default balls for a lot of people. It'll be tough. The balls will roll out a lot. But you'll learn. And we'll figure it out all together. So, until next time, this has been Karacakes, bringing you another TGCTours Challenge Circuit guide. I'll see you soon.